I see him every night at 3:03 a.m. Not a dream, not a glitch, not my brain playing tricks after 3 weeks of sleep deprivation. He sits on the bench outside the old laundromat on Maple Street, the one with the flickering neon sign that says 24-hour, but only the 24 lights up, and even that buzzes like a dying fly. He wears a grey hoodie, hood up, and his face is always turned toward the road. Not at cars, not at people, just the road. Like he's waiting for something that already passed. His name is Chen Wei, at least that's what the missing poster said. The one that's been taped to the laundromat window since August 2011. Missing, Chen Wei, last seen on Ghost Festival night, 13th of August, blue hoodie, if seen call. The phone number is faded, almost unreadable. I only know this because my roommate, Ravi, and I decided to be idiots. We were bored. It was the annual Ghost Festival, the night the dead walk, according to the old folks in our town of Silver Creek. And we thought it'd be funny to drive around and hunt for ghosts. Ravi had his phone out, recording everything. I had my vape, my broken gaming chair's left armrest still digging into my ribs from earlier, and a half-empty bottle of soda. We passed the laundromat at 1:15 a.m. Chen Wei was there, sitting perfectly still, not moving, not breathing. I mean, I couldn't see his chest rise. I laughed. "Bro, that's just a mannequin," I said. Ravi zoomed in. "Mannequins don't have missing posters, dude." We drove past. I glanced in my rearview mirror, the one with the tiny scratch on the bottom right corner, the one I've been ignoring for months, and I saw him. He was standing now, not sitting, standing and facing directly at our car. His hood had fallen back, and his face was pale, eyes wide, mouth slightly open, like he was about to say something. I didn't brake, I floored it. We circled the town for an hour. At 2:45 a.m., we decided to head back the same way, because obviously we're not smart. And when we turned onto Maple Street, there he was, still standing, still staring, but now he was pointing. Right at my car, right at my rearview mirror. I heard Ravi whisper, "Hold up, the timestamp on my video says 1:15, but my phone clock says 2:45. That's an hour and a half difference." I looked at my phone. It said 2:45, but the streetlights were flickering like it was midnight, and the neon sign 24 was now glowing red, not white. I pulled over. I wanted to check. I wanted to prove it was a prank. I stepped out of the car, and Chen Wei was gone. But the bench was warm, like someone had just sat there. We didn't sleep that night. Ravi's video was our only evidence, but when we played it back, the timestamp on the file said 13th August 2011, 1:15 a.m. Not 2026, not last night, 2011, 15 years ago. I laughed. "Your phone's bugged, bro." But Ravi was pale. He showed me the video's metadata. It was recorded on a device that didn't exist in 2011, and the file size was 0, empty. Yet when we played it, we saw Chen Wei sitting, standing, pointing, clear as day. I tried to delete it. The video wouldn't delete. I tried to format my phone. It stayed. I even threw my phone into the sink. It still played when I fished it out, dry as bone. That morning, I told my mom. She's the only one in town who still burns ghost money every August 13th. She listened, her face turning from concern to terrified. She grabbed a bundle of joss paper, the yellow kind with the red stamps, and shoved it into my hands. "Go to the old cemetery behind the cornfield," she said. "Burn this at Chen Wei's grave. Apologize. And whatever you do, don't look behind you. Not even for a second." I snorted. "Cope harder, Mom." But Ravi looked at me with those big, scared eyes, and I knew we were going. Because if I didn't, I'd never stop seeing that empty hoodie. We drove to Silver Creek Cemetery at 2:06 a.m. The cornfield was tall, dry, and rustling, even though there was no wind. We parked near the gate, and I could smell wet earth and burnt ash, like someone had been burning paper here just minutes ago. We found Chen Wei's grave, a simple stone cracked down the middle, with his photo faded and covered in moss. I knelt, lit the joss paper, and started chanting the apology my mum had taught me. "We are sorry for disturbing the veil. We didn't mean to see you. Please, rest in peace. The flames turned blue, the paper curled and vanished without smoke. And then Ravi screamed. I spun around, but I didn't look behind me. I looked at Ravi. He was staring at something over my shoulder, his mouth wide open, his hand trembling. He whispered, "He's right there. He's standing behind you, and he's holding a mirror." I felt a cold hand on my neck. I froze. The hand didn't grab, it just rested. And a voice, low, raspy, like a whisper from underwater, said, "You saw me. Now you have to see what I saw." I tried to turn. I couldn't. My neck locked. My eyes stayed forward, fixed on Ravi's terrified face. And in his pupils, I saw the reflection. Chen Wei, holding a broken mirror. And inside that mirror, I saw myself, but I was wearing a gray hoodie, and my face was pale, and my eyes were wide. Then Ravi ran. He sprinted into the cornfield, and I heard him crashing through stalks, screaming, "No, no, no!" I chased him, but my legs wouldn't move fast enough. The corn swallowed him in 3 seconds. I called his name. Nothing. I spent the next hour searching. I tripped over a root, fell into mud, tasted dirt. I felt something cold wrap around my ankle, a hand, and I kicked until it let go. At 4:00 a.m., I found his phone. It was lying near Blackwater Pond, the same pond where Chen Wei drowned in 2011. The screen showed a video, timestamp 3:27 a.m., of a figure in a grey hoodie standing at the water's edge, pointing at the pond. Ravi's shoes were on the shore, his body nowhere. The police dragged the pond at dawn. They pulled out Ravi's body at 8:15 a.m., face frozen in that same wide-eyed scream, lungs full of water, but his clothes were bone dry. The officer said he'd been dead for at least 6 hours. "That's impossible," I said. "I saw him run into the cornfield at 2:45. That's 5 hours ago." The officer shrugged. "Kids drown in ponds, it happens." But it didn't add up. The pond was 3 feet deep. Ravi could swim, and his body was found in the exact center, not near the shore. Something held him under. They tested me for drugs, clean, no meth, no alcohol. They found a piece of paper in Ravi's pocket, a torn receipt from a noodle shop that closed in 2010. On the back, in handwriting that wasn't Ravi's, was a date, 13th of August, 2011. I knew that date. Chen Wei's missing poster, the Ghost Festival. I went home, threw myself onto my broken gaming chair, the left armrest still digging into my ribs, and Googled. I found an archived news article, Silver Creek teen drowns in Blackwater Pond, August 13, 2011. Chen Wei, 19, was last seen sitting on a bench outside the laundromat. Witnesses say he was waiting for someone. His body was found at 3:03 a.m. I froze. 3:03 a.m., the same time I see him every night. But the article said he drowned at 3:03. So what was I seeing? His ghost? Or something else? I texted my sister, "Bro, we are so cooked. I think I saw a dead guy." She replied, "Wait, rewind. You saw Chen Wei, that guy who drowned. Mom told me about him. He was on meth that night. He hallucinated. He thought someone was calling him to the water. He walked in and drowned. It was all drugs." I stared at her message. Meth, hallucinations. But I was clean. Ravi was clean. We saw him. Then my phone buzzed. A notification from an unknown number, no name, just a grey hoodie emoji. The message read, "You're not hallucinating. I'm real. And I'm still waiting." I looked at my rearview mirror. The scratch was gone. Instead, the mirror showed a perfect reflection of my face. But my reflection was wearing a grey hoodie, and it was smiling. And I wasn't. I called my sister back, but she said, "You were on meth too, weren't you? You took something at the festival." I hadn't. But then I remembered Ravi had brought some gummies. He said they were CBD, but they tasted bitter. And I ate one. Oh no. I ran to the bathroom, stuck my fingers down my throat, but nothing came up. The gummy had dissolved hours ago. The truth hit me like a freight train. We weren't haunted. We were drugged. Ravi's gummies were laced with meth or something worse. The hallucinations, the ghost, the pointing, the mirror, all of it was a product of my own brain. Chen Wei's story was real, but he drowned because he was high, not because of a ghost. And now I was high, seeing the same thing he saw, a figure at the water's edge, calling me. I grabbed my keys and drove to Blackwater Pond. I had to prove it. I had to see if the figure was real or just my own fried neurons. At 2:55 a.m. I parked at the edge of the pond. The water was still, black, and reflected the moon like a giant eye. I stepped out. The air smelled like algae and rot. I walked to the shore, and I saw him, Chen Wei, standing on the opposite bank, grey hoodie, pale face, pointing at the water. I yelled, "You're not real, you're a drug!" He didn't answer, but he pointed harder. I looked down at the water. In the reflection, I saw myself, but my reflection was wearing a grey hoodie too. And it was smiling, and it was reaching up, trying to grab my hand. I backed away. My heart was pounding, my vision blurred. I heard a whisper, "Come in, the water's warm." It was my own voice, but distorted, like it was coming from underwater. I shook my head, ran to my car, and checked my phone. The video from earlier, the one of Chen Wei pointing, I played it back. And this time, I noticed something I'd missed. At the 012 mark behind Chen Wei, in the reflection of the laundromat window, there was another figure, a girl in a blue dress. She was standing still, watching, and she had a phone in her hand, recording. I zoomed in. The girl's face was clear. It was Lin Wei, the girl who drowned in 2011. But the article said Chen Wei drowned alone. So what was she doing there? I paused the video. I replayed it 4 times. And on the 4th time, I saw the timestamp on the laundromat clock. It read 3:03 a.m., but the date was 13th August 2011. And the reflection of the girl in blue, she was looking at me. Not at Chen Wei, at me, the future viewer. Hold up, did she see me? I looked at the pond again. The water was still. No figure, no grey hoodie. But my reflection in the rear-view mirror, it was still wearing the grey hoodie, and it was still smiling, and it was now holding a phone, recording me. I got out of the car, walked to the pond, and knelt. I stared into the water, the reflection of my face, normal, tired, scared. But in the corner of my eye, I saw a blue dress, walking toward me from the other side of the pond. I turned to look, nothing. But when I turned back, my reflection was gone. Instead, the water showed Chen Wei standing underwater, looking up at me, mouthing one word, "Join." I screamed, I ran, I drove home, but my GPS kept rerouting me to Blackwater Pond. I smashed my phone. I tore off the rearview mirror. It shattered, but the pieces reassembled instantly. And now, every time I look at any mirror, bathroom, car, even my phone screen, I see Chen Wei, and behind him, a girl in blue, and they're both pointing at me. The gummy wore off hours ago. I'm clean. But they're still there, and I think they've been waiting for me since 2011. I didn't drown that night, but I'm starting to think I was never supposed to leave.